Yeah.
We didn't
If
need
you
no
need no
help.
help, we wouldn't have been out here.
You should have been.
Okay.
Your ass wouldn't be arguing over no
Yo,
road.
my ass is right here, Nell. What the f is wrong with her?
It's over, but the true drama is just getting started. Kimmi Scott blocked Nell Fletcher, and the Love and Marriage Huntsville fan base is now in a tailspin. As this is not merely a social media move, let's go back a little, because this block had some significant backstage baggage. If you turn the clock back a bit, Kimmi and Nell weren't always this far apart. Indeed, Kimmi welcomed Nell to the group early on and even showed her grace when some of the other women appeared uncertain about her Instagram interactions, such as comments under photos, mutual support, and then all of a sudden stopped when Kimmi stopped responding to Nell's posts.
You know what? I need to go live, and I need to let all my supporters know that that's not true. Miss Nell don't roll like that. Miss Nell ain't playing no side chick for nobody, okay? That's just not how it go. And yeah, she's referring to Tisha K interview with Martell. No, I'm not referring to Tisha K interview with Martell. For those of you who know, I won't call no names and until I address it. Just stay tuned. Some of you.
Fans began asking questions, and it became evident that this wasn't an accident. When a woman like Kimmi, who typically keeps things professional, starts drawing public boundaries, something genuine happened. Emotions were obviously still running high even after the camera stopped. It is a signal. But again, if you think this is a surprise, think again. Insiders claim that this feud has been simmering to the point of overflowing like a slow boiling pot. Somewhere along the line, things began to take a turn for the worse, while Nell grew closer to Letitia and Marceau Scott. If it weren't for Kimmi and Marceau's tumultuous past, which includes Kimmi's previous declarations that she doesn't always trust his intentions, particularly when it comes to how he resolves conflict or inserts himself into group drama, that might not have been a huge deal. Thus, it raised eyebrows when Nell began spending more time with Letitia and Marceau, appearing in selfies, laughing on live streams, and even echoing some of their views during group discussions. Given her keen observation skills, Kimmi probably noticed the shift and began to wonder if Nell was associating with people who didn't really support her. It was no longer merely a social issue, it turned into a political one.
Yeah, I'm gonna protect my peace, but this has been on my heart. This has been weighing on my heart. Because I didn't know that this was a big deal.
In the realm of marriage and love, Huntsville friendships are alliances. Kimmi took notice when Nell appeared to be picking a side because alliances are crucial. However, the real tipping point is that there is a rumor that Nell said something critical about Kimmi's health journey off camera. It's unclear exactly what was said, but those who were involved say it came across as condescending. Since Kimmi has been so candid and vulnerable about her health issues, it's almost like a backhanded remark disguised as concern. That kind of remark is really hurtful, and that one comment was the last straw for Kimmi, who views it as more than just drama. It's personal. What began as shifting alliances turned personal, and fans soon discovered that Kimmi had formally unfollowed Nell on Instagram after filming concluded, demonstrating that she wasn't going to overlook that. In the world of reality TV, an unfollow goes a long way, but Kimmi went one step further and hit the block button, making it obvious that fake connections and passive energy were no longer welcome. Fans naturally noticed it right away, and screenshots began to circulate. Everyone's reaction to what transpired between Kimmi and Nell was the same. Nell shared the quote, "Sometimes peace means letting go," on her Instagram story shortly after the block, although names weren't mentioned. The timing was so sharp that it felt like a jab, an approach to addressing the consequences without getting sucked into the mess. When Kimmi finally responded with her own post, "Distance is peace," fans weren't the only ones who watched. These quotes were reposted by other cast members who liked and disliked them. Each move of the digital chess match alluded to the real-life fracture beneath it all. Community didn't keep the tension between her and Nell after she pressed the block button. When it started to affect the Scott family, things became really complicated. Maurice Scott, In an attempt to prevent the situation from blowing up, Kimmi's husband reportedly made multiple behind-the-scenes attempts to mediate. According to people close to the production, Maurice was trying to repair the damage by speaking with his brother Marceau and his wife Kimmi in the hopes of resolving problems before they worsened. However, here's the issue. It was said that Marceau, who was never afraid to stir things up, was doing the exact opposite of what was desired with peace. According to the Word, he began disclosing tidbits of private conversations that were supposed to remain within the family. These were not merely lighthearted texts, they were extremely emotional items. It was only made worse by the possibility that Kimmi had disclosed confidential information to Maurice. For Kimmi, it might have seemed that her family was betraying her, not just a friend. And there was no simple solution for Maurice's dilemma between his brothers and his wife's loyalty. You could see it on his face in the final group scenes. Instead of his typical confidence, there was a tension that was practically palpable on screen. The rift even began to influence post-production scene shaping. Bull acknowledged that producers appeared to change the plot a little in an attempt to prevent the family from appearing totally broken on screen, but viewers who paid close attention said the editing felt more jumbled than usual. Which aspects of the fight were omitted in order to preserve the larger picture was more important than who was fighting anymore. Not only did this block split two women, but it also rocked the Scott family tree, so when the family gets pulled in, that's when things get messy. Amidst all of this, the Love and Marriage Huntsville set was anything but tranquil behind closed doors. According to insiders, the final days of filming were incredibly tense, with cast members being on edge and the typical energy that permeates Rap Week replaced by icy greetings, low eye contact, and a glaring divide that no producer could overlook. Well, according to one source, Kimmi refused to film with some cast members if Nell would be present, so she had to completely restructure the confessionals. The final cast dinner ended in disaster, and even though some of her prepared talking points were changed to soften the conflict, the awkward energy still came through in her delivery. Nell was the first to show up, smiling for the cameras and appearing unconcerned as if nothing was wrong. The mood changed when Kimmi arrived, though, and they remained largely silent, only talking when she felt compelled to. The tension was evident despite the efforts of the other cast members to keep things moving. They knew that what was supposed to be a joyous farewell had devolved into a Cold War and the final cast dinner, so the production apparently cut the scene shorter than planned because they simply weren't working. Suffice it to say that unity left the building. Fans reacted quickly to the public block and the Instagram quotes on social media, with Kimmi showing up loud and proud and praising her for setting boundaries and kicking out those who didn't support her piece. She was commended by her supporters for preserving her energy, particularly in light of the group drama and her health issues. However, Team Nell had their own opinion and accused Kimmi of being a victim and manipulating the story to make herself appear to be the one who was harmed. Since Kimmi has a history of remaining silent until she can control the message, some fans brought this to their attention. They think this block was just another instance of that tactic. A commenter asked, "Kimmi don't move unless it benefits her? Image, y'all really think she randomly blocked Nell? This was premeditated?" Another person added, "Let's not forget how. Nell had Kimmi's back at that charity event when no one else said a word, and now she's blocked?" Yes, something is wrong, but it went further than that. Earlier in the season, some fans even began sifting through previous episodes in search of hints that might have pointed to this fallout. Nell took the opposite approach, posting peaceful yoga photos of herself smiling in nature while performing stretches, but saying nothing at all, no captions, no hashtags, no hints, instead of expressing her opinions, while Kimmi made her position clear with that unfollow and subtly posted Instagram picture. Fans, however, are not duped by the secrecy rumors that have begun to circulate. According to certain insiders, Nell is holding back because she is getting ready to share her side of the story in a sit-down interview that won't be altered, filtered, or influenced by the production. It has been reported that she is fed up with being portrayed as the messy one, while Kimmi receives what some refer to as a protected edit. According to reports, Nell feels like she was thrown under the bus during filming. Some scenes made her appear dubious or disloyal, while other scenes that would have highlighted her viewpoint were either omitted or minimized. You can bet that she will bring a receipt if she truly intends to speak. And that type of frustration doesn't go away overnight. Nell has been incredibly quiet, which has fans wondering what she's saving for. Sometimes, however, silence is the loudest message. No, everyone is watching the reunion. Is Kimmi keeping her guard up, or will she address it on camera? That is the key question. Whether this is true or not, it demonstrates how deep this cut went, because this wasn't just a one-episode argument. It became part of the greater love and marriage Huntsville story. There is already speculation that Kimmi may have asked producers to restrict certain conversations or even threaten to show up if certain questions were raised, and it may change the way viewers perceive both women depending on how it is handled. Fans will point it out if it is avoided, if it is explored. We may finally get a better understanding of what actually transpired between Kimmi and Nell. Furthermore, long-term, what dynamics change, which friendships endure, and who returns for the upcoming season could all be impacted by this fallout. It is up to him to decide whether to keep the peace or let the truth unfold. Everyone is waiting to see if we will receive the truth or a filtered version of it as the reunion approaches. Whatever transpired between Kimmi and Nell, there is no doubt that the drama continued after the cameras stopped rolling. And as long as both women continue to stand their ground, the fallout will not be over. So are you on Team Nell or Kimmi's side? Leave a comment with what you think. If you're living for the chaos, hit the like button. And remember to subscribe for more marriage and love. You won't find Huntsville tea anywhere else.